All right, get ready for the hottest weather of the summer. All right, technically speaking, summer started last evening at 7:09, but still the hottest weather. We're going to be looking at temps in the mid to maybe even upper 90s by the time we hit tomorrow. And yes, we are still dealing with the wildfire smoke here in Craven County as a result of the action going on. So this is what we're going to be tracking, those southwesterly winds here moving into the area. And again, it is one of those situations that we're going to be dealing with that smoke as we go on through this afternoon. Just like we've seen the last couple days, it'll kind of hang out around the Croatan for the morning hours, and then as the sea breeze front comes inland, the worst will be into the afternoon and evening hours for us here in eastern Carolina. Heat and humidity, that's the other main story if you're not affected by the smoke. Also keeping our eye on the tropics. Now, we do have one named storm already rolling around out there. That's Chris. Question is, will we have Debbie by the time we rejoin early next week? That's something we'll talk about coming up here. Again, we are going to be tracking the southwesterly wind with that smoke. It's going to be basically with the southeasterly breeze coming in with the advance of the sea breeze front that we are going to be seeing that move inland towards New Bern after 3:30, 4:35 o'clock in the afternoon as that sea breeze front does penetrate inland. So let's try to break it down here for you where the areas are going to be seeing the most unhealthy air as we go on through this afternoon and this evening. Basically right in and around the fire itself. We're talking eastern Jones County, basically right along the Highway 17 corridor, Pollocksville, Maysville, on down into, let's say, just south of Havelock and Craven County, back over to Minnesota Beach and Bayboro and Pamlico County, then up to Vanceboro and Craven County again. So that's the area where we do have the code red, the most unhealthiest air is going to be located. Now, doesn't mean, though, Beaufort County, Hyde County, even Carteret County, not still going to be feeling the effects from this, but they'll be more limited as we go on through the day today. Here's your code red and code orange. Well, they kind of break down. If you are in the code red area there, very unhealthy, especially if you have respiratory distress, avoid all kind of outdoor activities. In the code orange area there, if it's basically one of the situations where you already have a respiratory distress problem to begin with, then you should probably limit your outdoor activity. Storm Track 12 forecast for the day today, hot and humid. I can't rule out an isolated shower like we had a couple of them pop up yesterday, but those are going to be few and far between. And the big deal is going to be the heat and humidity with those southwesterly winds. As we head overnight tonight, again, some minor smoke issues along Highway 70 and 17 and 58 right around the Croatan itself. Temperatures on the muggy side, mid-70s. And then through the day tomorrow, maybe a storm north and west of Greenville late tomorrow afternoon and evening as a front does press into the area here. Notice the southwesterly winds a little bit more gusty as we head on through the day tomorrow. Clouds will start to increase late in the afternoon and evening hours for us here in eastern Carolina. As we track the winds here for you, as we zoom in a little bit, again, by late this afternoon, we'll get those south-southeasterly winds helping to bring that smoke from Havelock in the Croatan area up towards New Bern. And then overnight tonight, we'll kind of see the atmosphere stabilize. More of a southwesterly wind develops again. As we go through the day tomorrow, we are going to be looking at those winds turning more south-southeasterly, marching that smoke back up the Neuse River. Now, you will notice there, that line kind of showing up there in southern Virginia back into western North Carolina. That's a front that will be eventually marching into the area here as we head in through Saturday afternoon hours. Now, ahead of it, though, it is going to be those strong southwesterly winds as we head into early Saturday morning, helping really keep temperatures up along with the smoke levels as well. Hey, as I mentioned, in the tropics, we've got one named storm as it is right now, well out in the Atlantic. Not a problem whatsoever. Winds at 58 miles an hour moving off to the east-northeast. Again, it's in the North Atlantic, no problem whatsoever. Kind of ingesting some drier air in on the eastern side, but the problem is, though, it's above the latitude where you have surface temperatures, ocean temperatures in that 26, 27 degrees Celsius range, which is about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It can't sustain itself up there, so it's quickly going to be dying out as it makes its way eastbound here. Now, what we're looking back here closer to home is this big upper-level ridge that has basically cut itself out across the eastern portions of the United States. That is what's baking us here. That is what is basically suppressing any kind of cloud cover. You notice out there around Chicago, that's where the front is, and that will eventually be making its way into our neighborhood as we head on through that Saturday time period. But this is the area I am more concerned about as far as potential tropical development is concerned. We are down in the Gulf of Mexico watching the Bay of Campeche off the Yucatan Peninsula here, and we are also going to be watching showers and storms that will eventually try to work their way back up in towards Florida. Broad area of low pressure, kind of figure out how things shake out with this system here. but this potentially could be Debbie as we head on into the weekend or early next week. But until then, it's going to be the heat and humidity that we are going to be dealing with here in eastern Carolina with this big upper level ridge in place for today and tomorrow. And you can see what the jet stream looks like. Again, that front is kind of located back in this neighborhood here, so that you've got all this heat just baking over us here. And it's actually warmer air aloft across Virginia and Maryland than what we're seeing here in eastern Carolina. Notice as we go on through time, though, we start to get that upper level ridge that makes its way off the coast. A secondary one reforms back out in the central plains, and we've got this weakness in between here. That's why I am looking down here in the Gulf of Mexico as far as potential development. But we will drag that front through the area here as we go in through Saturday. However, this trough doesn't really come crashing in. It kind of holds back as this piece splits out. And as a result, we're going to kind of stall the front across the area during the day on Saturday. And then you'll notice as we head into Sunday, as we start to rebuild that upper level ridge back in here, as the heat really rebuilds again across the central plains, going back up into the northern plains eventually, will force that front back to the north, only to have a big pattern shift coming our way as we head into early next week. Notice by Sunday, we start to fight that ridge back off again, send it back out and through the Tennessee Valley, and then watch the trough really just dump into the eastern portions of the United States as we head in through Tuesday and Wednesday. Some timing differences as to how that trough comes about, if there is anything in the Gulf as to whether it gets pulled up into that trough, so that's something we are going to have to continue to watch. But a definite pattern shift, not going to be as hot next week as it is this week. Take a look at Storm Track 12 Future Track here as we go on through the day today. We'll be seeing, again, maybe an isolated thunder shower around. Looks like the bulk of the action that will be west of I-95. Then as we head on overnight tonight, look for mainly clear skies. Again, some possible effects right around the Croatan from the smoke and the fog. And then through the day tomorrow, I'll put in a slim chance of an isolated storm developing and breaking east of I-95 after, say, sunset. It may make its way into Tarboro, possibly Greenville in the evening hours here, but I think the majority of the action will hold off until tomorrow night going into Sunday, or Saturday, excuse me, and that's when that front will be coming into the neighborhood here. So your planning forecast shows some fair weather clouds popping in the afternoon, but still mainly sunny skies, hot and humid. Tomorrow probably the hottest day of the week, maybe some upper 90s, 97, 98 degree range, not completely out of the question. Deep inland spots like Pitt County, Lenoir County, Duplin County potentially could be running into those numbers. And then otherwise, maybe an isolated storm, really, that's going to be about it. Front hangs over the area, better chance of storms in here for Saturday. Still a chance on Sunday, but very limited as that front retreats north back to near that 90-degree mark. Then that upper-level trough dumps in here for Monday and Tuesday, giving us the better chance of the showers and storms in here as that pattern change comes about. Have yourself a good Thursday. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still.